or if I did that job and then I was doing some other job, like maybe I had like Uber on the side or whatever, I'd definitely be making more than enough to,
Shoot,
be in
that's
a
easy to
better
say
situation than
now,
I am now. We'll say that.
2023, none of that Uber didn't exist, when he was 20 and even
True.
15, 10 years ago, whatever. But like I said, it's easy to say, yeah, but you work a couple of those Black Fridays, you start hating people. Just be
If
honest.
I'm
Fair enough.
No,
if
you
I,
Fair
start
enough.
hitting people even more if uh you at year 13 and all of a sudden they go out of business.
Right?
No, that's some postal worker stuff right there. That's where some people get shot up.
yeah,
Like,
that's facts. That's facts.
But
if
shoot,
not
I
that,
guarantee it happened.
I'm at
I
least
guarantee
bringing
it
like a
happened.
lawn chair with me. That's all. Someone's going to hit.
I guarantee it happened. Like I said, when they closed down, some people were at that mark, at that 15, 10, whatever year mark it was. Some people were at that mark when they closed, and they were like, "Yeah, Circuit City time. Sorry, we can't. You ain't gonna be here no more."
But
And
yeah,
I guess it depends also on how like happened. If it's just out of the blue, or if they saw like again, no, like there's signs where it's looking like things aren't going to work out. Maybe it's time to just bail out, or maybe there's like, well, let me just hold on and cross my fingers and whatnot. But if like if you see like signs that it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and more people are leaving, or they're doing less production sales and such, or if they're keeping you in the loop, then like even if you're at year 14 and then it just goes out of business, you can't get that mad because it just goes out of business. It is what it is. It just sucks that you
mhm.
committed yourself for so long for that to happen. So you probably want to, if you're going to make that commitment, you got to probably be in tune to what's going on with this company and how successful it is. Maybe see how many people prior to you did reach that 15-year mark and actually did successfully get their money, like
Well, that is the
it,
sad
it,
thing is that like, so Fry's Electronics, they even Best Buy is not doing great, right? And what they did was they pivoted to be more mobile, so people are buying their phones through there. There's nobody buying CDs, DVDs, nobody that's going there exclusively except for Black Friday to get some TV deal. But they might get their video games there. Like, there's not really a whole lot of stuff, but washers, dryers, and mobile phones is actually what sells. Those are compliant, those appliances. And so Fry's Electronics never pivoted in that way. They're still trying to sell, hard drives and audio equipment and stuff like that, which is not something people get. They get it through Amazon or something like that now. So, but I think the other company that I was a part of was Blockbuster, which actually went in business too. So it's crazy to have two things that used to be on my resume, which no longer exist.
Right. This happens, man. This day and age, their technology's killing everything. Like Amazon's about to destroy the retail industry. Like all these Uber Eats and stuff is destroying the dine-in industry and everything else. It's
Mhm.
becoming, like you said, the mobile industry.
So, but do you
It's
guys miss the idea of like it being a Friday or a Saturday night going into Blockbuster?
sometimes, yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
uh, yeah, I mean, it definitely was a vibe. I don't know about like adult life, but like, younger, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know if now if we had a Blockbuster, if that would be my mode. Like, oh, let me go rent a video, order a pizza, and then sit and watch a movie. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's because we've been conditioned. So that's so far removed. I don't know, like if it came back. Like you still see there's like red boxes here and there in front of certain spots. It's like you can go to a red box, but why would I? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I necessarily missed that. Even now, like when movies debut on Netflix, I don't run to Netflix. I'm like, it's there when I get to it. Feel me? So I think that whole
Yeah.
Friday night vibe, sit down, order a pizza, and shoot the shit and watch a movie. I think for me, that's a wrap.
Really?
Yeah.
I miss it to a certain point because like I told y'all back in the day or a couple years ago when I was with the ex and all that, we did that no phone Fridays and stuff. So every Friday, as soon as I walked to the door, I took the laptop, so I took the phone, so I took everything and put it in the room. We played board games, we picked out a movie, we popped popcorn, we did stuff like that. So that would have been part of the staple too, I think, is like we're gonna actually go to a blockbuster, pick a movie together and come home and watch it. So that probably would have been if it still existed like that. That would have been a part of the staple. But now with you don't really need it with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney, all that. But we still picked a movie as a family. But if we had that as an option, that would have been cool, but I definitely would have keep doing it if it existed, 100%.
Yeah, which strange, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was thinking just as you guys were talking, like, well, what do people do on Fridays nowadays? You know what I mean? Like, it goes into not only the blockbuster aspect and being able to go rent a movie or even go to the movie theater to see a movie, but with everything technology wise, like you really don't have any need to do anything outside of your home. Like Don was saying, yeah, a new movie will come out on Netflix, but because it's on Netflix, you can see it whenever you want to. You don't have to be like the first one to see it, meaning
Yeah.
like you don't need to see it the first opening showing. You can see it a couple hours later at night if you still want to be in the loop of everybody that's seeing it. Um, malls, nobody goes to the mall anymore. I don't know if
Right.
people go to dance clubs, like, because everybody's doing TikTok dances, so you don't need to go to you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
uh, as far as picking, the only reason we went, I want to say, is just like pick up girls and whatnot. People are doing that on like all those apps and everything of that nature. I don't even know what kids do. Like, the oldest, she ended up going to a party yesterday, but that was only because it's somebody's birthday. And like before then, I don't remember the last time she had a party. Maybe around graduation. Like, I mean, like I don't know what people do for entertainment nowadays. Other than like social media stuff.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Social media. So you're saying you rather watch Netflix and go out to see that Barbie movie? You didn't see that Barbie movie though?
Yo, ironically, I went out with the wife on a day date yesterday. Like, again, like I said, the daughter, she was going to a party at night. So we're like, all right, well, we got to take advantage of the time we have. So we went out, got a couple drinks and whatnot, got some food, and it was like, dang, like, well, what should we do next? And so we almost went to see the stupid Barbie movie. I mean, it has the homie Ryan Gosling in it. Like, that dude's dope. So I was like, all right, that's cool. But at the same time, it's Barbie and it's a little cheesy. So it's kind of weird to but also it got like hyped up. Everybody and their mom saw it apparently. So I'm like, I guess we got to see it at some point. But we ended up not doing that. Actually went to forget we went and got some shoes actually at the Van store. We got some shoes for the little girl and little man because he's going at his shoes, and the little girl, she's about to start preschool like next week. So
That's
gotta
what's
get
up.
her set up and proper. So a little bit of shopping, and then like I mentioned, drinks and food. That's all we did.
Hey, that works. Now, I don't know how true it is. They said for that flick, they said they paid more in advertising than they actually did on the movie itself. That's what the rumors are, which is ridiculous. I was like, how the
Wow.
heck you pay all this on advertising than the actual
Product
movie? But
placement. Product placement.
exactly, because you see it on Geico or what? Not Geico, freaking the other one,
Progressive, yeah,
Progressive.
yeah,
Yeah, Progressive. You see it
yeah.
on Hulu. I was like, dude, they making you see it. And from what I heard with the reviews, it's just another, propaganda and this they trying to push a certain agenda and stuff
Hey,
with the
but it's
feminists and
working
all that.
for them. It's
It's
working for
it
them. So
is
I can say hats off to them. I mean, like a million plus, and I know, or not a million, a billion, and I know like a billion's not a big deal as much as it was back in the day, but now,
Still
and
big.
like, oh yeah, this is the first like female director or whatever, and it's a nostalgia thing for a whole group of people because everybody play with Barbies and stuff like that. Even like, because dudes had GI Joes, and if you had a sister or a cousin or something that was a girl, like she always wanted to take them and play and like have them marry each other and all that bullish or whatever, and as your little like horn dog like myself, you go and like lift up the shirt, try to see them like little fake titties and whatnot, like it's goofy, but
uh it was like
hey,
Eddie Griffin said, you got that kung fu grip on her.
All right. Okay.
Oh, you got that kung fu grip and taking that like,
All
you
right.
take I don't want Ken, I want Joe. Oh, that was funny. I forgot about that.
That's funny.
yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm probably gonna go see it only for the simple Mildred took Taylor opening night. They got dressed up and all that good stuff, and they had a blast. And then when they came back, Taylor was like, Dad, you have to go see it with me. And of course, you can't say no. So well, at some point, I'm going out of town next weekend, but when I come back, her and I are gonna go see it because I don't want to see it. I really don't. There's not one part of me that wants to. I was hoping she wouldn't ask me, but because she asked me, I'm not gonna say no. So I'm gonna see
Yeah,
it probably in a couple of weeks.
I
Do
feel
what
you.
you gotta
That'd
do
be
for
good,
the
Dad.
fam.
Trust me, we all did that. We all did stuff for our sons, our daughters that we didn't want to do, and
Yeah.
that's just hey, that's part of being a parent.
Oh
Trust.
yeah, no, I'm not tripping. It is what it is.
Yeah,
She wants to hang out. I'm here for it. So
yeah.
uh
Harold
Yeah.
was definitely gonna
or see if
take
I could
Sadie. He asked too.
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find like a Ken t-shirt. I'm gonna rock a Ken tee or something like that. While
Like
she wears her little
Street
Barbie
Fighter
joint.
Ken?
What up?
Street Fighter Ken?
Hey, I should, huh?
They
She's like, Dad, that's not
won't
the Ken
even
I was talking about. I'm like, that's the only Ken I know.
right. They wouldn't know the difference.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the only Ken I know, B.
That's
Uh,
funny.
No, I actually kind of look forward to seeing it. Might not be in theaters, but I heard it actually is a decent story that has other aspects that they're trying to weave into it. So I don't know if it's propaganda or if it's just like this is a microcosm of how society is, and this is like a different take on it. So I'm cool with
Mm.
them using a title or a property like that to showcase something else.
Yo,
The only thing
That's
actually,
all they do. That's every movie nowadays. So that's part of the
actually,
culture, everything.
like as you mentioned that, that just had me reminded. They had a meme actually, or like not a meme, but like a little like again TikTok video or one of those things, or whatever, where someone was like, "Oh, so you watched or Barbie?" In the sense of saying like Barbie is the same as Black Panther,
I
and
saw
then
that.
they go on to compare the mugs, and I'm like, "Whoa, like okay, yeah, yeah." To an extent, like that makes sense. It's like the white Black Panther, but also like the white girly version of Black Panther, I guess, in the sense that oh, there's a secret world and this is the Barbie world, and there's a channel to get to it, and this and that. Like, you got to look at it because you're like, it does make some sense. And you're like, okay, it's a little bit of a stretch, but then at the same time, it's not. You know, it's one of those things. So
So
You could
yeah,
compare that. Shoot, they could have threw Mario into that, and it would be the same aspect. Oh, it's another
good point.
world. This is yeah, but
True, true,
it's
yeah.
just because they mirror anything, like they copy everything and make stuff alike. But let's just change it, change the characters, change this. It's the same movie with the dress on it.
And they even said Black Panther was a remake or a replacement for The Lion King, and I remember that analogy. So it's like, okay, yeah, you
Yeah,
know, a lot of things are repetitive.
it happens, especially when conspiracy put this put this fact, put this fact, and this fact. Like, dang, you're right. Oh shoot, but yeah, it
Yeah.
is what it is, though. But hey, enjoy it.
but
I don't
do you
think I'm gonna
believe
be
that?
seeing it. I'm cool on that.
But do
I'll
you
watch
believe
a preview. That's it.
that myth that they had that was something about like there's only actually what is it like 7 different storylines that actually exist? So like
Oh yeah, yeah.
the tragedy, the comedy, the quest, the overcoming a monster, going from rags to riches, like those types of things. Do you believe that that's like a thing, or do you think people are just trying to be overly dramatic and boil things
Yeah,
down to the same?
it's not so much a belief of whether or not it's a thing. It is a thing. That said, and you know me, I'm always the person who always wants to look the other way or be contrarian or whatever. And like, so when I first found out about that, oh, there's again 7 different storylines, and every single story, whatever you look at, you follow it, it's gonna have this in it. I went back and I started looking at trying to find different stories where it's like, oh no, there's not protagonist and antagonist, and there's not this decision or this event that needs to take place, but I couldn't find one. And what I thought started to think is that it's not so much that they don't have stories that are not part of that. It's just that that's not a story anyone's going to want to watch or read or you know whatever, right? If you have a book or a movie you want to make and the whole story is about a guy goes to the post office and there's no conflict, there's no nothing, he just wakes up in the morning, puts his clothes on and goes to the post office. You watch a movie or read a book or a TV show like that, like, well, what's the point? Why did I watch this? Like, you know, so yes, every like good story or everything that's worthwhile is going to have
Hmm.
one of those components of those 6 different storylines or whatever. So I mean, I have to agree with that at least right now. Although it would be nice to see something kind of throw that off skelter or whatever, you know, like or
Well, but
off
I
cue.
think it's one thing to have the overall storyline. It's another thing to have the arc of how it goes all be the same. Where they're crescendoing and building the relationship. There's bros that are hanging out, and then somebody's gonna do something to mess it up, and then somebody's gonna remind them, no, but look how good things were. Don't throw that away. And then they have some type of redemptive thing right before the credits hit. And it's like, why does it all have to go in the same fashion? At the 1 hour and 10 minute mark, you're going to see some conflict happen where they are mad at each other. And then at the 5 minutes later, things are resolved. Like things like that is where it becomes annoying. You could do it.
Sometimes they don't do that though. Sometimes they don't, and that's where you have like those sequel movies where you have the cliffhangers, or you have those flashback movies where you see what happens in the beginning and then you just have the build up to it at the end or whatever, like. So they mix it up somewhat, but again, I think it goes back to what leaves people satisfied. And if like the Titanic sinks or whatever in the beginning, and they show exactly how it all sinks and stuff, and like the aftermath or the rest of the movie is just them talking about like the people's lives or some it's like, well, I don't know, like I'm not interested anymore or whatever. So I think it's just the way that we're conditioned to enjoy stories, or have whatever be the case.
And that's exactly what it is. What you said is we're conditioned to it. So it's going to take a while for like something new to happen to be conditioned to that too. So we're conditioned to that romantic comedy. We're conditioned like, hey, they found out they love this person, then they didn't, then now they upset, they cheated, and now they're gonna get them back, and what they're gonna do is like, or same, it's like certain shows like that, and that's what I stopped watching. Sometimes like, dude, this is annoying. I know it's gonna happen. I don't even want to watch this part again. So I end up clicking off a show sometimes because I just get tired of the repetitiveness. That's why I haven't finished certain shows and certain series, because I was like, dang, they're about to have their decline. I don't want to see it. It was like that movie I was trying, and I started watching with Will Smith where he was the gambler or whatever. I forgot what movie that was. He was big into gambling and all that stuff happened. And
Was it Focus?
No, not Focus. It started with a C, I think. He was just like gambling, and then he lost all his money. Then something happened. I forgot. But at that point where
Will
I was
Smith
like,
was a gambler?
yeah,
Was it Collateral Beauty?
I think so.
I don't think I've ever heard of this movie.
Yeah, I think it was Collateral Beauty.
Yeah,
but
I remember the movie now.
Yeah, but yeah, at that point where
it was a good movie, but I don't know about him being a gambler. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, because you remember it was at the point where he was like, I remember he was like at the game and they're betting on like, oh, who's gonna do this, and the one dude was like, oh, I bet you $1 million this is not gonna happen. You knew he was about to do that, and that was, I'll look it up and I'll send you a message or what movie it was, but yeah, it was just like at that point I was like, I knew it was about to happen, so I didn't even finish the movie because I was like, I'm tired of this part. I'm tired of the decline of a character just to build the character back up. I was like, yeah. That's why I almost didn't watch Snowfall at the beginning, because you knew like after like even though it's a dope show, like I almost stopped watching like the first couple seasons or the first couple episodes where like he was getting into it, everything kept going wrong, and then you knew it was about to start going right, but like at that point where everything kept going wrong, I was like, dude, can you just get your stuff together? Like, come on! I just want to see the good part.
That one actually surprised me because legit, like as I was watching that one, I honestly didn't know what was gonna happen. I was thinking, all right, yeah, somehow, some way he's gonna die, because usually in those type of movies where like you're rooting for this guy, but he's also kind of a bad guy or a villain to an extent, they end up dying, like getting shot or going to jail or something of that nature. But instead, for the flip side to happen, and spoiler alert to people who haven't seen it, but it kind of ends up like his dad. It's like, dang, like I didn't expect that. I like the way it ended in that sense, but if we're talking about kind of like shows that turned you off because it's predictable or whatever, for me it was The Walking Dead. Because that one, like the first season or 2 seasons, like, oh, cool, like, zombie, but it's a TV show zombie thing, so it's lasting longer than a movie. And, it's the same thing over and over. Oh, we find a new community and they're a bad community, and then we have to take them over. And oh, now we found another community and they're bad community. Like, and so it became more and more repetitive. The first time, yeah, you didn't know necessarily what's going to happen and who's going to die and whatnot. But after a while, it's like, okay, yeah, so these are the main characters. They're not going to die. They may get into sticky situations and they're going to meet somebody that seems like they're impossible to defeat, but then somehow they're going to defeat them. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah,
one was one that like I got turned off on that easily.
I feel you. It happens. Shoot, what y'all got going on this weekend, or what y'all do this weekend?
So we didn't hear Don's opinion.
Oh, sorry.
In
Go ahead,
regard,
D.
Don,
no,
go
I
ahead.
honestly,
What are your things?
no,
Yeah.
no, no, honestly, you're good. I was pretty much rocking with the majority of everything you guys said in regards to that. We're all, I mean, listen,
A majority.
we're all programmed to like what we like, you know what I mean? And all the movie makers know that. So these whole 7 or 8 different storylines, it is what it is. They're gonna make what we know what works for them and what we're gonna like. You know what I'm saying? So I don't argue it because I know what I like and I'm gonna look for it. So it's pretty much
Yeah.
cut out of me.
Yeah, like I said, that's what we like, and we're gonna keep liking it
So
until
to
we
put that
like something else.
so to put that onto a different subject that has a little bit of interest to you, Don, like how do you feel about, the sneaker game in regards to the consistent re-release of kicks, but in all these new and different colorways where it's like, oh, we got to make it different now. Like, oh, you got the bread Jordans. Okay, what about these like Lucky Charm or these Shamrock Jordans with the white and green and how do you feel about those? Like, do you feel like, oh man, I've seen all that, I'm done, I'm over it, or do you
Yeah, I
enjoy
mean,
that?
as you get older, I stick to what I like. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at them trying new things because obviously they have to try to have the brand continue to go in a different direction for the next generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The generation that doesn't care about OGs, like they're like, fam, we weren't there when Jordan played. Okay. So we don't care about the white cement, black cement, and what he wore during like game 5. Like they weren't
yeah,
that. So I'm not mad at them attempting other colorways or schemes. Some of it's corny, some of it's absolutely corny. Facts. All right. Candy
yep.
cane and all this stuff. And oh, this is the t-shirt he wore in a commercial. So I get it. But at the same time, they're trying to appease to a new audience and trying to like keep you entertained and relevant to a degree. So I'm not necessarily mad at it. I just stay in my lane.
Don't you feel like it's kind of like, I don't want to say a cop out, but like somewhat of a cash grab because it's like, no, we're not coming up with new innovative stuff. They do
Always.
still have like new Jordans, but obviously they're not hitting as hard as like the originals and whatnot. But it just like, all right, yeah, let's do this color this month and this color next month, and just every single like, there's only so many colors in the rainbow, but they're going to continue to try to like make whatever combinations they can just to get money because they're even like throwing RAPE prices for them. Like it's like, come on, man, like. Well,
Yeah,
it's just
I think so.
yeah. When
But
you
I
said
also,
corny, I thought a lot of them are corny. A
oh, for
lot.
sure. Oh, facts, facts. No, like in terms of like brand new retros, I only maybe go for a couple a year. Like, Jordan 1s, I don't think I've bought a new, aside from these UNC toes that just dropped, because those are fire. Like, out of every 20, one I'll like, maybe. You know what I mean? And again, it is a cash grab. They're a business. So I'll never knock on anybody's hustle. That's how I look at it. It is a cash grab. It is kind of tacky, but they also know that a lot of those shoes or whatever colorways they're going to drop aren't going to sell. They're going to like put them at like you said, a crazy price of 200 or whatever, but they know already that no one's going to touch it. And then it's going to hit a factory store for like 110. I think they're okay with that business model. You know what I mean? They create some colorways specifically for that. I swear they do. You
Hmm.
know? And then they know when they put out their bread toe, black toe, royal, they know those are the ones that are going to hit. So they can put those at 250 and they're chilling because they know that people are going to buy them at 250. You know what I mean? But then when they turn around and they do like a Barbie pink or a ice blue for women, they know that shit ain't going to sell. But they're cool with that because it's going to go to the factory stores and all that for 40% off. And then it'll sell out. And then they'll make the money anyway.
Yeah, they always gonna make their money, and there's people that's gonna buy every single shoe just cause. So they're gonna
I
make their money.
agree. 90% of it today is corny. I completely agree. That's why stuff I buy, it's seldom seen, it's brand new. I go for the older stuff that either I've never acquired or my pair's a beat, so I want like a newer pair or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, I stay away from the we just made this after like Haritos, a Harito dunk. Like fan, really? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a
Yeah.
soda and you making a shoe out of that. Colorway's kind of dope. I'm not gonna hold you, but it's kind of corny.
But it's
Mm.
also it's all branding and marketing, right? And so they wouldn't just say these are the Jordan 4 white and greens. They got like they got to say the shamrocks, right? You can't just say these are the new black and lavender because people are like, I don't want lavender on my shoe. But if you call it the Black Panthers, people be like, oh, you got the Black Panthers?
Yeah.
You know, like they got to have everything is related to something so that it sounds better than it actually is. You know, they wouldn't say the pink Jordans. They'd say you got the Barbies. Oh shoot, the Barbies came out like. And people fall for that sucker crap. Like so,
they do.
That's what marketing is. 100%. It's marketing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're appeasing to a new audience, and they got to like keep moving the goalposts for every decade because there's a new crop of sneakerheads, quote unquote. So they gotta. That's how they become innovative. Like it's the thing is Jordan Brand tries to be innovative with coming out with new models, and you've got new players that they signed, and they try to do like new player exclusives, or they try to do new basketball models. Ain't no one rocking with that shit. So they're like, all right, well, you don't want this. We'll give you the Jordan 4 again. We'll mock it up. We'll do, hey, these are the Smurf 4s, and watch them go crazy. So
you just brought that up. Were there any of them that you actually thought were good? Like they had what CP3 was a Jordan brand, Carmelo was a Jordan brand. Like,
but ironically, like out of all those recent re-releases and retro colorways and all that bullshit, like for the past like maybe a year plus, the dopest Jordans that actually came out to me were those Lukas. Luka Doncic has some Jordans, like, and it is weird. I want to say it's
Luka
like a black
Tatum.
and purple colorway.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty dope. Yeah, Jason Tatum's his were nice too. I didn't like any of the colorways, but yeah, like those were the ones where I was like, oh, and I thought about getting them, but just not trying to be into Jordans as much, so I ended up passing.
So so in terms of like new Jordans, yes, the Luka first model, Luka 1 is really, really good. I like those a lot. I do like the Jason Tatum, some strawberry lemonades kind of got to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do like I plan on picking them up. But in terms of like retros, outside of them, like the reimagined threes, I had to get those. That's anytime they release a white cement 3, I'm buying it. I just have to. They can do it once a year, I'm buying it every year.
I thought you were selling your collection because you wanted to just come up.
Yeah, no, I gotta have them. There's certain shoes that like no matter from now until when I'm like 80, they release it, I'm buying a new pair. I just have to. It's in my DNA. And then like when they did like the Lost and Found Jordan 1 Chicago, it's one of those staples. You have to. Even if you don't like the shoe, you have to. So I mean, I'm freaking got Jordan on my shirt, like, and on here, like when they release anything Bulls colorway, like it's gonna happen.
Dude, fun fact: I never owned or bought a pair of Jordans ever, dude. This is crazy.
Well, I know because you try to buy fake ones.
I ain't trying to bait for buying. I'm trying to sell them. No, but no, for real though.
I know that.
Like, dude, I never bought a pair. I don't know. I never been a little sneakerhead. I always liked the back in the day, all I liked was boots and stuff like lugs, Timbs. That's all I rocked when I was a kid growing up in Denver and all that stuff. That's all I rocked. And then I started doing Skechers, and then but then I just got in that zone where I just like little basic shoes and stuff, like Skechers. What else I got? Skechers, lugs, and I forgot the other brand I used to always cop. But yeah, I never bought a freaking pair of Jordans. I don't know. I just wasn't in me. No knocking, but like I said, hey,
you also
I appreciate
a ball player.
Exactly. Like I was a tennis player. I never balled really, here and there with the homies, but not trying to be on a squad. But like I said, it's just crazy. I just thought about that. I was like, dang, I never bought a pair.
Dude, Don's gonna sneak send you a pair in the mail.
No, the hell I'm not. They're staying with me. Fuck
you know the prices, right?
That brother said he wears Skechers. He's never wearing Jordans ever in life. I'm not sending him one.
Hey, let's not knock Skechers like they weren't popping because first, I mean, just like when it's saying like lugs were popping. Timberlands, I remember when Timberlands like they kind of jumped the shark and like had like a million different colorways of them and whatnot. I want these like burgundy red ones or something like that because they looked hella dope and fire. One of the kids at school had every single colorway of them. Those were
Right.
dope.
Remember the B boots?
The Coney, I remember those. Those were popular. Like you said, lugs, Skechers when they had like everybody had the black boots and they're thick and made you like 15 feet taller and whatnot. Like,
Facts.
man,
Right.
like there's a whole bunch of
I
kicks that
remember.
like
I
were
remember
like
when they came out with the
popping.
Jordan 9 boots, and I was like, those actually look kind of decent. But again,
Yeah, somewhat,
at the
somewhat.
time when shoes were 120, those were like 180, and I was like,
Yeah.
ooh wee.
Back when there's 120 for shoes for signature shoes, that's
Yeah.
something, man.
So no,
That's
thank you.
crazy.
But not even like as I think about it, or as I get older, maybe it's just because like I'm getting older, but also at the same time I feel like ever since the pandemic, you're not doing the things like you used to do as far as going out, and trying to stunt or show people like what you're wearing and all that junk. So I really have like haven't been, oh, that's a dope shirt. I need to get that fit. I need to get that hat. I need to get like the material items that we'd wear and stuff is just no longer appealing as much. And then I think the straw that like hit the camel's back or whatever that, phrase and stuff or whatever for me with respect to shoes, specifically Jordans and, Nikes in general, is the fact that, even the market, public, society, etc., has all recognized how much oversaturated things are with those the panda dunks. Like everyone and their mom, primarily it's like, young teenage white girls or whatever, but like everyone seems to have white panda dunks. Some people love them, some people hate them, but just the fact that like something like that, it as iconic as the dunk is, and now you got people that like, I don't know. It just seems weird that everyone and their mom's wearing them. Same thing with Jordans to an extent because of all those different colorways. Because yeah, you have people that are not going to spend again $180 on a pair of Jordans. You have people that aren't going to spend $150 on Jordans. But once those Jordans nobody wants because the colorway's trash, go to like 40% off in the factory outlets and stuff like Don was saying. Someone's gonna find and be like, "Oh, they're Jordans. Let me get that for my nephew or whatever." And they get, and all of a sudden now you got like some kid wearing like orange and green Jordan ones that you don't know if they're real or if they're fake because they have a billion different colors and like all the obscure colorways are the ones that usually you have like that are knockoffs. It's just I guess I'm saying it's like just oversaturated, and so I really don't have an interest not in shoes. I still love shoes and whatnot, but just like buying Nikes, I'm trying to find other stuff like
Yeah.
not like $500 Gucci shoes or anything of that nature either. But let me find just some shoes that don't have to have any crazy wildness design or not hyped up. Not everyone and their mom's wearing them. Just something different, especially if it's comfortable. I'm that old guy now where I just want old, plain, simple comfort.
I
With
will
my
say
kids.
to that, you're not wrong. So I just recently fell into like the New Balance hole, and they
Wow.
no listen. I'm not listen. New Balance,
Kevin.
these joints are actually kind of fire. It's like the little like basketball shoes at 550 low. They're like 90, $100. I got a couple of pairs. These joints are tight. All right. I might, no joke, I might buy more. I've never owned a
Like
New Balance
Kawhi Leonard's?
in my life. What's up?
Like Kawhi Leonard's?
No, 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 no.
With the running ones.
Before we end, I can go grab one. But they're fire to me. I like them. It's basic. You were just talking about basic. It's basic, but the colors are cool, and it was $100. So I bought two pairs, and I rock with them.
So my dad's been like that standard default dad, where you got the you got those memes where you got them, they got the jean shorts and they got the New Balance with the socks and stuff. That's been my dad for the longest. And so for that purpose, I can't see myself buying any New Balance. If Don wants to send Quincy, some Jordans, he can send me some New Balance. Maybe I'll look at them. I don't plan on rocking them though.
Don said, "No, now you made me mad."
You going to get them? Like,
You're about to go get them.
trust me.
Well,
Trust
now
me.
they
Trust me.
used to
Just look
be.
at them.
I used to call them bus drivers, right? Because those are the only times you would see people rocking them is the bus drivers with the big pedal. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Some of them are clean. I haven't. Oh,
I'm sure
they
they've
got
had
my
to level up to stay competitive because they're still in business. So something's working.
yeah. They got their clientele, just like every other company. They got their clientele.
Yeah, but I mean, like, no, they have like brands like can't think of any right now, but like just some like off the wall brands are like, oh, that brand makes shoes. Like what? Like, and the shoes look cool, so I'm like, I'd rather try that. Let me buy a pair of kicks for like 40-50 dollars or something if they're suitable, versus me having
Dude,
to get like stuff to stunt or to show off nowadays or whatever.
All right, so
What's this trash?
these
Let's see
actually
it.
go with the shirt that you're wearing, yo. So this is like a burgundy vibe, all right? So they're
Yeah,
actually
nah.
a basketball shoe. So it's like it's got burgundy and it's got like little blue on it. These joints is all right. And then where's the other one? And then I just got like a university blue because I love university blue. These joints are actually kind of fly. And this was like 95 bucks. And they're
Yeah,
cool as hell.
like
And it's a vibe. I'm not gonna hold you.
the comfort of them, that would be intriguing. The rest of it, I have no motivation. I mean,
These
even they
are a
got
vibe.
what's his name? They got the white boy. Gosh, Jack Harlow. They got Jack Harlow, like him promoting those kicks and whatnot. So that's every time I see that shoe, it just reminds me of him. And no offense, he's cool and whatnot, but it just seems corny. That shoe looks corny. I feel like it's corny. I would feel comfortable or uncomfortable trying to put a fit together with it in the sense of corniness. So yeah, like no, like I just can't. I can't. You
No,
know.
trust me. I'm checks over stripes. I'm checks over everything till I die. So this took me a minute to do it, and I almost didn't even want to. The baby blue colorway, I was like, and it was like 90. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna throw 90 bucks away. If I like it, cool. If I don't, I'll just donate it. And I tried it on with the like some joggers and a cool little like polo. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's all right. So, but I understand though. I
I'll,
understand.
I'll do I'll do some Chuck Taylors. Those are going to be the definite default. I go to those, although they're uncomfortable, so that's why I can't go with Chuck Taylors.
Yeah.
But then I'd also go with the Puma, the Clyde, the Suedes. Go with some of those before then. I'd go with Adidas, especially the Ultra Boost, although you can't really wear them with jeans and stuff like that. That's kind of weird. But like Adidas, I know Adidas are always comfortable. I'd do that. And believe it or not, I actually think I would get back into Reebok. All
See,
of
like
those definitely before New Balance.
the way you are with New Balance and like Jack Harlow, I'm the same way with Adidas and Kanye. I have never put Adidas on my foot for years because of the level of corniness he went to. So I have denounced Adidas. You don't. My
I've
closet.
never worn a pair of Kanye's, but I heard those are hella comfortable.
No.
So
Let me tell you something. They're dummy comfortable. I had every flavor in the 350s, every flavor. And then when he went to like Cornball Central, I got rid of all of them, and now there's not a T-shirt, not a sock, not draws, anything with the check with the stripes. If it ain't a check, I ain't rocking
Mm. Yeah,
that. But that's how like you are with New Balance and corniness. That's how I am with Adidas.
fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah, I could see that.
no,
It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for style or if you're looking for performance, and it doesn't seem like there's one shoe or brand that is focused on both. Like obviously, I like Under Armour, not necessarily in the shoe game as much, but in some of their apparel, just because it seems like their styles are more modernized. They just seem like better to wear, better fit, better. Like Nike just seems so basic, and it's like, but it's got the check, so that's good enough. You're just gonna buy it, sucker. Like, but
Yeah.
there's nothing special about it. And they used to pride themselves on coming up with new stuff like the Freeze, right? Like the Free had like a more of like a free form feel for the foot when you do your running. They would come up with Flyknit to make it more breathable and make it more form fitting. Like, but they just kind of gave up. Like they had certain things in place, and now they're just resting on those laurels rather than trying to make things innovative. It's like, well, let's just focus on, the fact that if we come out with a new version of something that people already like in a different colorway, like Brian was saying earlier, then they're just gonna buy it. And I just,
You know what? I think that happened because yes, they were trying to be like they're always trying to be ahead of technology and this and that. And then a few years ago, when Adidas came with that Boost technology and it went against their Nike Air, like it was scary for them. It was scary time. The Ultra Boost was the number one comfortable shoe by
that's what I rock.
doesn't matter with anybody.
Yep.
But what had happened though, even with that, despite them being like the number one most comfortable shoe, Nike still reigns supreme with their air technology, with their Flyknit technology, even like, you know, their runners with the Vomero and the Roche Run, things like that, they were still like top tier. So I think to them, they were like, look, even when somebody comes with something new and innovative, we don't really have to jump out the window because we're still Nike and we're still going to be the king. You know what I mean? So I think they're just trying to take their technology and instead of like innovating it, just mixing it. So before you just had Air Max, so now you have like Air technology mixed with Flyknit, or you know what I mean. So like they try to like they do the Air Max 720, which is now like a bigger bubble, but then it's got Flyknit in the upper, and then you've got the Zoom pocket on your insole. So like they just try to take all their technology and now mix it together instead of trying to make something more innovative because they technically don't have to.
The other thing too, though, is I believe that all shoes aren't made for all people, and so you might have a Reebok foot or an Adidas foot or something that's like requires something that's like bigger or something like. I feel like a lot of the Nike, especially early on, especially the Air Maxes, were for people with narrow feet or people with flat feet or people that didn't need an arch or need extra support, didn't have to deal like. So I feel like depending on what is best suited and comforted for you, especially if you're going to use this for a sport, Nike might not be for you. Mm-hmm. But people just want to wear the Nikes because, like you said, they think that's a status symbol. I think that is changing.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole status thing is absolutely changing. I mean, just with how people wear their clothes these days, you know what I mean? Somebody will put on a really, really fire fit and then put on dad shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like that is kind of like the norm right now. Even with like kids and tech. Fam, you see how dirty these joints are out here? People don't care about like what their shoes look like. You know what I mean? So you clearly can tell that they don't care about the latest innovative technology or how this feels when I put my foot inside of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely the way for sure. Why Asics is coming up. That's why New Balance. That's why all the runners are out here because people want those type of shoes versus a retro. Because fam, you can't wear a casual retro for 5-6 hours a day. You can't. I won't. Like when I'm at the warehouse, the last thing I go for is a Jordan. It's either a Dunk or it's an Air Max 90. Like that's what you'll see me wearing usually during the week. On the weekends when I step out, like with the family, or if I'm like streaming live, then I'll put something nice on. But other than that, I don't wear retros like that. 9 times out of 10, you'll see me in an Air Max. You'll see me in a Dunk. You might see me in these New Balances now. You know what I'm saying? So,
holy jokes, Brian.
Yeah. Nah, like funny. For me, I feel like it's slightly different. I think not so much that they care about what they're wearing on the feet or whatever, but I feel like they do care for comfort. And I say that because like I can't comprehend it. I didn't comprehend why people liked the Yeezys. Obviously, like if you're a fan of Kanye and stuff like that, I guess that got people hyped. But as much as I love Kanye's music and stuff, like I wasn't effing with his fashion choices, so I never had any Yeezys. I did have a knockoff pair of those the Nike ones he had, the Yeezy 2s or whatever. I remember those ones. I had knockoff pairs of those, but otherwise, like I didn't care with any of the Adidas ones. I didn't care with any of the fashion clothes, so on and so forth. So I didn't understand why people wore the Yeezys, but a lot of people did. And I can understand to an extent because it has like, that background popularity of him as an artist. And because everybody says they're comfortable. And if they legit are comfortable, it is what it is. But these ones I still can't wrap my head around, regardless of how much anyone says they're comfortable. Because my daughter had a pair and I did try them on briefly just to go take out the trash. And that is Crocs.
Oh, nope.
What the, like Crocs? What? Everyone, and I mean everyone, like everyone from every single age. I mean, fucking NBA players, you see them in Crocs. You see actors in Crocs. Like everyone wears Crocs, and it's just something I cannot vibe with. I don't get it. I don't.
That's funny. Speaking of Crocs, have y'all seen that movie Idiocracy?
Oh yeah.
Did you know like that movie, everybody in that movie had those on before Crocs became big. So the story was like that movie was such a low budget movie, they couldn't afford any good shoe. So they're like, what should we get? And they saw this company that made the Crocs, and they got those for the movie. And they're like, hey, what happens if, in 20 years or 10 years, these actually become a popular shoe? They're like, look at these. These are crap. These are never going to become popular or whatever. And then years later, freaking everybody's rocking them. It's funny. When you said that, I was like, I thought of that movie immediately. But yeah, everybody in the movie was rocking it before they got big, before they got popular, and now everybody's freaking rocking them. I never put my feet in a pair. I never owned it. My son has a pair. I was like, really, dude? But I was like, hey, his mom bought him, so it's like whatever. But
yeah,
I'm cool.
I will never wear Crocs. That's all I gotta say.
No.
Nah, I'm not wearing them to the bathroom. I'm not wearing them to the shower. I'm not wearing them outside. I will not, could not in a box.
It's the new slides, right? It's the new slides.
No, it's not. I'm
sounded never... like he sounded like the cat in hat. Will not wear them.
That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. Fam, everyone in the house here, they have them. I'm the only one that doesn't. Kids love them. Mildred loves them. I'm good. Everybody has them. They're like, Dad, where's your Crocs at? I'll get my Nike slides. I'll be all right. I'm
right.
Wearing Crocs. That's on God. I'm not doing it. They're ugly. I don't get it. It's literally
exactly like, why do they like them so much? That's the thing that's crazy.
I'm just like, cut to 5 months later, and Don's like, I got some for Christmas. And
nope. And guess what? And
I've seen the light.
It's funny you told me that, because they tried to get me some for Christmas last year, and I said, I love each and every one of you, but I promise you, I'm going to donate them the second you give them to me. We get in the car, drive to Goodwill, and I'll say, hey guys, here's a DS pair of Crocs. Merry Christmas.
So if Jordan did a combination with Crocs, you wouldn't met. So you're saying if Jordan did like a little combination with them, you want to rock it?
Fam, I don't care if Rihanna herself wore them and then say, I'm not putting them on my feet.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's big facts.
That's funny.
The only thing I would say is just to do similar to myself, as far as like just to put them on to try them. And the only reason I did that, again, I had to take out some trash real quick and I didn't want to go get my kicks. But also it's like, all right, well, everybody keeps saying they're comfortable. Let me see what that's about. And you slide them on and they just seem like some normal ASS shoes. I feel like Adidas are more comfortable than they are. So it's like, that can't be it. What else is it? Oh, they don't have laces, so it's easy for people just to slide them on and off. Well, again, you could just wear slides. I've wrapped my head around it multiple times trying to figure out, why are these so popular? Oh, they're cheap.
You took them to the trash too, man. When you took up the trash, you could toss those in there. But nah. It's like, hey, it's popular. Like people, somebody wore them, some athlete, some model, whatever, and like all of a sudden, like, oh, these are cool. I like these now. Like, okay, like it got its niche and it got its popularity, and then now everybody's rocking it.
I can understand kids rocking them, like, because they got them in a whole bunch of different colors. They have the little giblet things or whatever those little things are. You could put in the little holes, so I get that for kids, but like, again, adults, I got, doctors. My wife, she works for a doctor. I ain't trying to put him on blast, but I remember I saw him rocking some Crocs, and I was like,
no, that's big in the medical field. All nurses, hospital, like big, they all rock Crocs. So,
which it's just weird. It's so again, I really wish I could just understand why, but
there's no rhyme or reason. It's just, it is what it is. That's funny.
So I have to ask you guys a music question.
Yep.
I was looking at, because obviously there's been a drought for the most part this year, and they started to heat up with a couple during the summer, but it's still largely a drought. But I was looking at, who do we even want a project from? Like, who would you care to hear a project from? Like, Lil Wayne hasn't come out with anything for a couple years, but do you want a Lil Wayne project, or is he just good? His legacy is solidified. Who cares? Do you want a project from Royce da 9 again, or is Allegory and his late, like, is that good enough? Do we care about Tech Nine anymore? Do we care about Twist anymore? Do we care about Sahai the Prince? Does he need to have a follow up to his first album? So there's a bunch of stuff where it's like Schoolboy Q. I haven't heard from anything from him in a while. Rhapsody, she hasn't had anything in 2 or 3 years. do I care for products from them? Do I need them? Or is it just like time for new blood? So I don't know. What were your guys' thoughts on, do we need a new project for some of these existing greats?
I'll go quick and short. Real quickly, just out of the ones you listed, the only one that seemed appealing to me would have been Royce 5'9". I like to hear a new project from him. And then again, with my Kanye fandom, I like to hear some new Kanye now that things have kind of died down a little bit. There you
go. Let me see. I still think I'd want to hear. I don't need, but I'd like to hear stuff from, like, side note, someone like Travis Scott. I don't know if you guys are fans. I am a fan of his. He's never really did me dirty. Utopia to me is phenomenal. I love the album, but we can talk about. I heard it. But no, like, if Jay-Z put an album out, I'd be okay with it. I'm not like running for it, but if he put like a new album out, I would peep it. You know me and like Rick Ross, anything Ross, if Ross drops a new like full-length project, I would definitely listen to it. But I guess to answer your question, I don't think I necessarily need albums from anybody at this point because, you know, like Nas, right? Nas consistently drops, but then he just dropped
Magic 2.
And Magic 2 was mediocre. You know what I mean? I thought I liked it, and I keep going back to it, and it's my least favorite out of the 5 that him and Hippo have done together. So to answer your question in short, no, I don't necessarily need albums from anybody. I don't think there's anybody I'm like checking for. Even I'm like a huge Kendrick fan. Maybe I would want to see something from him, but aside from that, not really, and not in hip hop at least. I've got my R&B stands where they can put something out all the time, and I'm here for it. Like SZA, I'm always here for a SZA album. I'm always here for, like, you know, Usher's been in the lab. I definitely would like to see Usher, a full length Usher project. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
You know what I mean? I would definitely like to see him do something. I mean, there's a plethora of others, but in terms of like hip hop, man, nah, I'm not really checking for somebody. Tech keeps putting albums out, and
he keeps trying to put on his group, right? It's not just me, it's the whole strange music. It's like, no, this is you.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if it's maybe I've just grown to like not care for his style or something, or he's not doing anything new. But I don't know. It's just he puts out his, you know, his joint, and you know, he can spit. We get it. His rhyming pattern is different. It's the same. I haven't enjoyed a tech project in a long time. So I don't know. I'm kind of over it.
Wow.
Okay. I'm kind of on the same boat as Don with as far as rap, hip hop. It's like, like I'll take a couple artists here and there, but am I looking forward to a certain artist? Not as much. R&B, on the other hand, yeah, I'll love another Snow album. Like he was saying, Usher, that'll be dope. Like even some of the old school, like shoot, if Anthony Hamilton dropped something, I'll be like, damn, I'll be clean. Shoot, but as far as like Twisted, like I'll listen to it, I'll peep it out, but am I wanting it? I don't necessarily want it, but I'll take it.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to actually throw in the mix besides the ones I referenced. I just thought about it. Supposedly a rumor, Andre 3000 is going to have something come out. And if so, that'd be actually cool just to kind of see where he's at now in comparison to like forever and a day ago.
Yeah, I did see that they said that his like a full-length album is underway, and that would be, and see, I didn't even mention that because like that's a unicorn. Like you have those unicorn artists that like of course, like if Dre ever put out like Detox or something like that, yes, of course we want a Dre album. I would love a full-length Dr. Dre project. Me.
Nah.
Oh no, I would.
He don't sound like Dre anymore.
Dre is still Dre. Huh?
I think his production does, but he doesn't sound like Dr. Dre anymore. At least his voice, right? It's almost like you got to have the Chuck D voice that goes with the Chuck D song. If he doesn't sound like that, then it's not the same album. You know,
Dre is still Dre. So if Dr. Dre said he's in the lab doing a full length album, I'm listening. I would definitely listen to that. Dre is still Dre. We're not doing that. And
I,
then if oh, you know what? I take that back. I want to hear a full-length Clips album. They are back in the lab.
Wow.
Clips are there because Pusha T is still Pusha T.
Does that
Malice,
include
Malice, or do you
Pharrell?
know Malice though?
It's with no malice.
Okay, so and it seems like it. One, I didn't know about it. Two, like I'm shocked, and it wouldn't be like I want to hear it to hear it. I'd want to hear it because I'm curious about it.
Well,
Because
if did you listen
again, like
to
what was clips like Lord Willin' and Hell Hath No Fury? What was that like? Pretty
Till
much
the
every
casket
other track was
drops?
about selling drugs or like whatever. You know what I mean? So
no, but if you listen to Push's last album that he dropped last year, there's a
That's
song with
right.
no malice on there, and it's at the end. I forgot the name of the song, but it's a Clips like reunion, and Malice is he's because he's reformed and he doesn't like curse and all that good stuff anymore. It's still hard, and he's still him. So he's rapping, he's active again. Let's just say that. So because of that, they're still with Pharrell. Pharrell's still one of the
I
greatest.
was gonna say who's doing the beats because that's another thing too. That's
No, no,
part of the
no.
reason why it was good.
Pharrell is still it's still Pharrell. There he's still active. I want to hear grown up Clips, Malice, Pharrell music. I absolutely do.
Okay.
I absolutely do.
Yeah,
So,
That'll be the
I still remember
but I mean, but yeah, like to like you mentioned Twista, you mentioned like, or even Currency, like I Harold and I were waiting for that Currency Jermaine Dupri joint, and that was mid. Like, give us more. So that's my point. I've been like anticipating a lot of albums, and a lot of the albums that I anticipate when they finally drop, we're like, that was it. Like, and I don't know if maybe because I was expecting greatness or because they're past their prime or whatever. But I'm a Ludacris fan. If he drops something tomorrow, I'd be scared because I'm like, it's not gonna be, red light district Ludacris. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's tough.
I feel you on that one.
yeah,
It was kind of like the conversation we were having last time about Eddie. Like, if Eddie Murphy, if he dropped it, if he actually came out and did that special, will it be the same? It's not going to be the same Eddie Murphy. I'm kind of scared. I'll be scared to actually watch it because I don't want to be disappointed in it and stuff. So yeah, I feel you on that one.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say this, and this is a super, super hot take, and it's fine. But I think comedy specials, I think they might be dead.
wow.
Well, and I'll say this because Chris Rock special, we waited for it on Netflix, mid. I just watched Reality Check, the Kevin Hart one on what was that? Peacock. He just dropped it, and it wasn't funny at all to me.
Well,
That's because
Honestly, like 90% of Kevin Hart stuff to me is just like, eh.
Well, no, you're right. I don't like Kevin Hart anyway.
it
I just wanted to see like everyone's like, oh no, he came back for Reality Check, so I watched it. Wasn't good. It short of it being a Dave Chappelle special, Bill Burr special. I mean, shit. Who else? No,
that
I'm being
out.
for real. I'm being for real. It's like
not like
Deion Cole's last one was okay at best. We haven't seen Earthquake do anything in a while. We haven't seen Hannibal Buress do anything in a while. Aziz Ansari's last one was trash. There aren't any funny women anymore. Like, it's no. I'm keeping it a buck. I'm sorry. Like, they're kind of like on the shallow end. And even Chappelle, I love Chappelle, but even Chappelle is like, yeah, so he can do no wrong. But
Watch
I'm
your words.
like the stand-up special. I can't wait to sit down and watch the HBO Showtime. It's kind of dead to me, B. I'm gonna be honest.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, and it's part of the aspect of this generation where like Chappelle's the only one that's real, and like you said, Bill Burr, there's the only ones that don't care about that little quote unquote cancel culture. So with all that stuff you can't say, it's like, yeah, some of these comedians, they lost their edge, they lost their they lost the ability to speak freely without trying to be quote unquote PC at the same time.
uh, I'm gonna just put this out there. This may be a hot take as well, but I'm starting to think like as I'm listening to y'all, like y'all sounding like some old heads. I mean, the thing is, like, one, going back to the Chris Rock thing, yeah, like there's all that hype about Chris Rock only because of the slap. If there wasn't the slap and like, oh, we're thinking, oh, he's taking all this time, he's gonna come up with all this material for the slap, and they only had like, 5 minutes of like slap material, it seemed, or whatever, right? So that's whatever. Kevin Hart, just like Don said, like, I mean, laugh at my pain, that was cool or whatever, I guess, because it was when he was new and fresh, and so all his jokes were like, oh wow, that's clever that he said that. And then it's just repetitive, 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 same old, same old. Like, oh, look at my short jokes and me being like, clowned at or made fun of. And yeah, like Kevin Hart hasn't been funny for the longest for me. And then a bunch of the other guys, like I said, Earthquake, like Earth, does he even still make comedy? Like, I mean, like I'm not expecting a big like, performance like show or anything of that nature from him. I'm expecting to see him at the comedy club for like $20 nowadays. That's where I'm looking at it. Earthquake. No offense to him, but like just like that's no longer popping and stuff like that. And
Now
and,
he
and
actually
regard,
in his Drink Champs interview, he said that he's coming out with another special hosted and led by Dave Chappelle. So
No, it's okay. Keep going, Brian, because he's actually confirming my point. So keep going. I want to hear the end of it.
I'm saying these things to build up to the point that's saying why I'm considering you guys old heads. Because yeah, all those people and everything you just listed off, yeah, like that's old news. They're not the new young hip people popping off and doing comedy. And in addition to that, the comedy that we're talking about is not going to be the same comedy before. We were just mentioning earlier about Eddie Murphy or whatever. I'm being concerned about him having a new show. If he had a new show, I bet 10 times that it's going to be completely opposite of Raw, because that's not funny to this generation. So you have to make things that pertain to this generation that's funny, which a lot of it is a lot more tame or, less offensive in different realms and areas and whatnot. But I'll just throw out one name there that I think is a young, hip, and up and coming person that I have watched clips of and stuff that's hella funny. And I'm like, man, that dude has some laughs. And that's Matt Rife.
I knew you were gonna say his
You
name.
might be like, oh, that dude's like lame or whatever because he's a good looking dude. Or the dude's funny. He has some funny jokes and he's able to like toe that line of like offensiveness, but like, do it in a good way. After him, there's Mark something. I'm forgetting his name as well, but there's a couple dudes that like you actually like watch again these little 5 minute or not 5 minute, like 3 minute, 5 minute TikTok clips or whatever. It's like, that's some laughs, that's some laughs. Then you watch the 30-minute show and you're like, oh, that full thing was good or whatever, right? So if that person were to come out with an actual special, maybe it would be good. But I think the problem is, again, going back to the old heads, not being in tune with today's comedy. And yes, it is a little saturated. Yes, they do have a whole lot of filler and fluff with trash people. You go on Netflix and they have hour-long specials for like people just like myself. But you can find comedy that is good. So I don't think they're going away.
No, hold on, time out. You literally just confirmed what I said. I said that the comedy specials are dead. What you just said is you are finding funny people in TikTok clips of 30-minute random, 30-minute random specials, things they do on their Instagram, things they do on their TikTok. What I said is the comedy specials are dead, and they are. I didn't say the content. I'm cool with the new guys' content. A lot of cool guys, it's funny to me. A lot of the things that people do, King Bach and all them, they're funny. They don't do comedy specials. I didn't say anything about the content. I literally named people that had a career based on comedy specials. Comedy specials are dead. That's facts. Now, if you want to sit there and say we have TikTok comedians now, we have like, Facebook Live comedians or whatever you want to call it, cool. I'm not an old head because I'm saying these are dead. I rock with the new guys, but the comedy special, like I said, and I stand by it, is dead.
But it's not though, because that 5 minute clip I'm telling you about was from a comedy special. You go
that was aired on what?
TikTok. What?
That was aired on what?
I don't know. I saw it on YouTube. It's a 30-minute Matt Rife OnlyFans is on YouTube. He had a 30-minute one. Then he had one like Matt Steven Rife, his full name. That was like an hour-long one. Again, same situation. I saw it on YouTube. I don't know what it originally premiered on, if anything. But going back to like they do have specials. Like Comedy Central still puts out specials. Netflix puts out a bunch of them. It's just trash artists on the Netflix ones, but they're consistent
That's
like almost
confirming
every
my
Friday.
point.
They have
That is
one. No,
literally
no,
confirming my
you
point.
said they're dead, saying they don't do them anymore. They do them. It's
No,
just
I
trash
said
people.
they are trash. I said they're trash and they're dying. If they're putting out, listen, you only found
Okay, Nas. Okay, hip
based off
hop's
of
dead.
clips.
Okay.
You're
Comedy's
looking at
dead. Okay.
clips of stuff. If you have to go to YouTube to look at clips, or if you have to go on Instagram or TikTok to look at clips, that is confirming what I'm saying. We are
So music's dead. So hip hop's dead. Hip hop's dead. Okay, Nas. Because the only reason I can't find out about music is because I'm looking at TikTok and YouTube and like that, like little clips where people do their dances to this new song or whatever. Ain't
So
nobody
are
watching.
you
Who
listening to
watches
clips
music
of
videos
music?
nowadays?
Are you
Does
listening to clips of
MTV play
music?
music? Does MTV play music? Right? You see what I mean?
On
This is a new.
ridiculousness.
You're going back to old heads because again,
What is he
the
doing?
way people find out about music is they be looking at little social media clips and such. It's how you find out about anything nowadays. So yes,
So,
comedy goes along with it.
but here's my point with it. So, and going back, starting with the music, I think that I'm still for the element of surprise. So, yes, there's nothing maybe that I'm looking forward to tomorrow where I need to have Lil Wayne come out and surprise me with a No Ceilings 4 or whatever. But like, I'm up for the surprise of like, hey, Big Crit comes out with an album and it's way better than Digital Roses. It's way better than, Return to Forever. Like, I'm up for that. Like, I didn't know I needed a Killer Mike album, and that so far is my leading candidate for album of the year so far. So, yeah, it's nice if Outkast could reunion, or a Lil Brother album would be my favorite, or if Clips would come back. But the element of surprise, I think, is still worth seeking, and so I'm up for it. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not looking forward to anything. I'm just hoping that someone can surprise me with something. So that might be, maybe I want a Rhapsody album, but she's not ready, or she's not. It's like not a time and a place, or the sound isn't tuned to her style. Then I'm fine waiting. But I think there's still a lot of good music that's still to come. And I think that same way with comedy. I think there's still a lot of element of surprise where, before we didn't know a Hassan Minaj, and now he's like a prominent person that we've heard of. Hopefully you've heard of them. We didn't know a Mo Amer or whatever until he started touring around with Dave Chappelle, and now he has a great special that came out. We didn't know, like, I'm still up for RNSJ. Like, anytime he puts out something, he has a different style of comedy. I like RNSJ, and he makes me laugh every single time. Earthquake, like you said, he's still dope. But even like a Michael Che, like, he has his own style. He's been around for a while, but has only had a couple specials. So I think there's still room for people to make their mark and to still impress us. Even if you have, because when you have expectations, that's when you get let down. When you said, "Oh, really? There's going to be a new Cedric the Entertainer," and then he's just like, "Yeah, it's going to be a 20-minute special." Oh, now I'm deflated. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to, like. That's all it is when you bring up expectations because of the name or because of somebody's history. That's when you get disappointed. So I'm up for the element of surprise.
Feel that.
It also should be noted, though, as well, that unfortunately this generation has a short attention span. So that's why we have albums that are much shorter. We have specials that are much shorter, still specials, but much shorter. Even the only thing that's been longer extended, it seems, has been movies, being like 2 hours and 3 hours and things of that nature. But a lot of times people do gravitate to things that are shorter and, quicker so they can get on to the next thing and continue. So when I find out that something is short, yeah, it's a little bit bummer because I wish I had more of it, i.e. Magic 2. But, I still enjoy it for what it is, and so, yeah, I don't think it's going away or that's dead, anything of that nature. It's my thought.
I was talking about that the other day, as far and talking about the like length of an album or songs and stuff. I was like, I remember back in the day, like a track used to be like 4 or 5 minutes. Now they're like 2-3 minutes and certain songs. Like, dang. Yeah, it's like, God, this is quick though. I want more of that first. I want more of this
That's when
song.
you
I want
start
more of that.
vibing and go to the next track, yeah.
Yeah,
Or even worse, like, and I blame Drake for this. I'm sure it wasn't just him. It's also like Odd Future and some other busters. But like, you're vibing with the song, and then halfway through the song, they completely switch up the beat to another beat, and it's like, dang, like, now I gotta change my rhythm and cadence and my bobbing of my head and whatnot. Like, I cannot stand that. I just make 2 fucking songs. Don't put them on to like one song. Like, it's.
Wait, Brian, are you sounding like an old head?
Yes, I am
I
old head.
like
And
that. I
that's
like that.
in that sense, I am old head, and I will acknowledge and accept it. But yeah, I like, and I'll say that even furthermore, like I rarely listen to new music outside of being on the radio or like in the presence of my daughter or something like that. No, like
Radio.
I still like my old hip hop. They just had again like the 50 years of hip hop, so they were doing the countdown like the 50 best hip hop songs. I was listening to that on the radio. Like I didn't agree with all of it, but I was like, all right, that's cool. Like I like my old music. Anything from like two unless one it's Kanye or Kendrick or uh even Drake, I guess, like unless it's some of the like more prominent people that have been around since the mid 2000s or whatever, I'm not really listening to it as far as a new artist. I'm trying to listen to my old music. I enjoy that music. It's what I go back to. I'm an old
Yeah.
head for that matter. I fully accept it.
Yeah. All right. I agree with you. I got you there.
That's funny. So,
Shoot.
well, anyways,
So yay. Oh, go ahead here.
no, go ahead, Quincy. What were you
Oh
saying?
no, I wasn't saying what else is y'all because I was like, we got diverted on that. I was saying, hey, what y'all got going on, what y'all do this weekend, what y'all got planned, what's
Oh,
going
I
on?
have I'm going live in about 40 minutes to sell some Pokemon. You know, and bro, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. People, it's funny, but this I make money off these cards. So
Making money, yeah. Ain't
now,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, right now I'm trying to save money to landscape my backyard. So I got an idea of what we're gonna do, and landscaping not cheap. So
Not at all.
I started to do a bunch of these live just back to back. I did sports cards last week. I'm doing Pokemon in like 25, 30 minutes, and I'm gonna do a couple more lives, and that's gonna pay for my backyard, fam. So be on today.
Do your thing.
About to go live and sell some of this here in a few.
Yeah, man, do that.
We touched the city a little bit yesterday, nothing too crazy. Went out to eat. It was Mildred's birthday on Friday. So Friday
Yeah, this is the busy month for you.
What's up?
This is the busy month for you.
Oh yeah, that's another reason why I'm selling Pokemon. Yeah, I got
Birthdays,
her
anniversary.
birthday is yesterday, and then Taylor's birthday is Wednesday, and then the anniversary is on the 24th. Thankfully, this year she bought tickets to Beyonce, and it's on the 24th. So I really don't have to do much on that.
No, that's interesting though. No, because you planned your wedding day to be on Kobe Day. So that's
Oh, brother, let me tell you something. I didn't plan anything. I was at work and they were like, "You trying to go to the courthouse today?" And I'm like, we could do that. I didn't even know it was Kobe Day. I was at work, and when I worked at Wells Fargo, and I walked from Wells Fargo to the courthouse after, and we did it, and it happened to be on 8/24. So I didn't plan anything.
okay.
Shoot, that's my mom's birthday. Shoot, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's what we was on this weekend. It's a birthday weekend.
That's what's up.
That's fun.
What about you, Harold?
What you got planned?
Oh shoot. Yesterday I just chilled, relaxed. I woke up early, went to the dock, fished off the dock, crabbed off the dock. I ended up catching a little Dungeness. That was the first time I caught one off the dock that was big enough. Usually they're like freaking not big, but I caught one that was like that. I was like, oh, cool. Ended up making that for dinner last night or lunch yesterday.
Was that the
Wish I
same day
caught
that
it.
you went out with Lil Man, or was that a different day?
No, I took him out weekend before last, and and we went off the dock and went fishing and stuff. And I was gonna go this morning with the homie on the boat to go fishing for some salmon and stuff, but I was like, I have this going on, and then I'm taking my son to the Mariners game later on today. Starts at 1, so after this, I'm gonna get ready to go pick him up and go down to Seattle in a little bit. So yeah, we're going to the Mariners game tonight
Cool.
or today, hanging out. But yeah, other than that, it was chill. I ended up catching it. It was kind of cool. I'll send a picture. I caught a freaking starfish yesterday too. I threw that back. It was crazy. I pulled up the little thing and there was like little starfish in there. I was like, oh wow, that's the first time I ever seen a starfish like that close live and stuff. I was like, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's been a chill weekend, just hanging out, cleaning up. About to just right before the call, I put car insurance on the new car because I picked that up on Wednesday or whatever, Wednesday or Thursday. Forgot. I think Wednesday. Yeah, I picked up the new car on Wednesday. So I finally put the insurance on there because I haven't been driving it because I had the rental up until
Riding
this
dirty.
weekend. So yeah, I take the rental car back, and now I'm gonna be driving that bad boy.
Nice.
It's funny. Have you guys ever been riding dirty where your stuff wasn't right?
Oh, what you mean, like registration? Absolutely.
Yeah, back in the day, I didn't even know, and I got pulled. It was back in the day in Arizona. I got pulled over, and they end up taking the license plate off and telling me to. They usually tow it or something. They said, but they let me drive it home, and they just said get it fixed. A big old fine, like $400+ fine for. I didn't even know my insurance lapsed. So I was like, oh, I didn't know. Oops.
I haven't been pulled over in a long time, but I remember the last time I did, they were like, yo, you have like some outstanding ticket. And I was like, outstanding ticket? And they're like, yeah, a parking ticket and from in downtown from like a couple years prior. He's like, I need to take your vehicle. Thankfully, Taylor
Wow.
baby, so I had her with me. He's like, I'm not gonna do that. He's like, because you got your baby with you. He's like, if you were by yourself though, I was taking this car. And I was like, what ticket are you talking about? And then if I were you, I'd go to court. So I went to court and they're like, yeah, some like parking ticket, blah, 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 blah. They're like, the fines are up to like 300. I was like, I had no notice of this. You guys never sent me anything in the mail. And then so I had a cool judge. They were like, all right, man, look, just pay what the ticket was. It was like 45 bucks. He's like, and then you're good to go. So I paid it and everything was good. But yeah, I remember they were like, fam, we're about to repo this joint. I'm like, for what? So yeah, that was the only time I was like really, really riding
For
dirty.
$45.
Yeah, in terms of like registration, oh yeah, you'll catch me at a certain time of year. It might be a couple months late. Facts.
Yeah.
Happened.
At first, I was
Right.
gonna say no, like I never been riding dirty, but then when you mentioned like the late registration, yeah, that actually happened like this previous year or whatever. Like I don't remember getting like the little slip of paper like in the mail or whatever, saying like, "Hey, you got to pay this like absorbent amount of money for one more year." But
Yeah.
apparently that was the case. Fortunately, like I forget, I think I had to pull out the registration something to verify something or whatever, and that's how it came about. Um, it had something to do with like how you go on like the DMV website or whatever to like do something. I had to renew something or get something, and sure enough, that's where it showed like this amount that I had to pay, and I was like, wait, so I never did that, like so
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
haven't got
That's
caught,
funny.
but apparently I was riding dirty at one point.
Too. I just got it's talking about the registration. I just got that in the mail yesterday for freaking the Honda. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna register this. I don't got that
For
bad boy
real.
no more. So I was like, yeah, this can go in the trash. I don't have to register that again.
Yeah.
Still waiting for them to give me my dang check though. They BSing on that. They taking forever on that. It should have been done.
Whack.
Yeah, they I got one of those silly red light camera
Ticket.
flashes,
Okay.
and it was a racist camera. So me being somewhat dark skinned, that mug looked like a black thumbprint. And I was like, they can't tell that's me. That's not even me. So I was gonna ignore that
He
job.
just got his teeth on there. He just like, oh, they just see the teeth there. That's it.
Yeah, you just see
That's
the
Yeah,
funny.
just don't smile.
so so they didn't even look like me. And I was like, no, they gotta do better than that. That's not, I'm not just gonna fess up to like some random drive-through and you just got what could have been any black dude riding through that part of Arizona, Scottsdale. So next thing you know, I think it was like a month later, some random person comes to the door, ignore that junk to the max. But then here comes the little kid. There's somebody here that wants to talk to you. You got served.
Uh,
So ish happened. And I had to do like, I guess because it's a red light camera, if you don't show up, then it's automatic traffic school. So it was like traffic school, license suspended, yada, 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 which it's like, so you can't drive.
Dang.
Hilarious,
Dang.
hilarious. But nah, it goes back to need to ride my motorcycle more. Put that helmet on. What, you can't see through the helmet.
Valid. Good point.
Facts.
It happens. So, anyways, though, been caught once upon a time.
bummers.
So,
I didn't think they'd go to that extreme. Like have them up just go to your door. Like that's crazy.
yeah. So all because curious little kiddos. I want to be
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Like, dude, no, you don't answer the door. You don't touch the door. Now, what about you, Harold? What you got going on this weekend, or had, or what?
Dude, no, yeah, we did a birthday celebration too for the littlest one. We are thinking about doing that again with the indoor wave pool. So we went to Kiwanis and they loved that. I mean, it was cool just to be out because I mean it's been so hot in Arizona that it's not even worth going to a community pool or even to our little like pool around the corner because it's just like you get dehydrated, you feel like heat stroke, like you just it exhausts you. So to have one that's indoor and they have the waves and all that stuff, they would love it. So we might go back to do that again
Yeah,
because it was a quick, I think $5 for them or something.
that's
Uh,
dope.
so we might do that again. And other than that, like I mean, I did some refing, got back into the basketball officiating. So I did that for like, I think it was some of them were varsity. They had like a tournament and they were varsity basketball, but they had ninth graders that were trying to play in varsity, like eighth and ninth graders. So then they tell me as a referee, like, just so we got, eighth and ninth graders, playing against varsity. So, just so like we're doing things, we're playing up. I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean I'm gonna cut some slack on you or make it seem like oh,
Exactly.
these are
Yeah.
pity calls. Like they're gonna get they busted and they're gonna get run out the gym, and that's what happens. So like it happens. You trying to let me know, like be patient with the whistle. No, like you still getting so it's always interesting when they try to do that little side talk and try to get you on their side. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
Nope, doesn't work for me. Hey, I'm gonna teach y'all the fundamentals. I'm gonna teach y'all the real thing. I ain't gonna babysit you. I feel you.
yeah. But it was
What
fun.
about
It was fun to get out there to do that. And I'm
you?
gonna
That's what's up.
get back to the swing of things.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get back to doing his coaching, but we'll see how he does next year if he wants to do it again. What about you, Brian? I know you said I had that date night yesterday, or date
Yeah,
yesterday,
day
but what
day.
else?
That was cool. And unfortunately, we're talking part of the day. Obviously, you converse and whatnot. We're talking, we're like, dang, like, not sure when we're going to be able to do this again. And it's not like so much a matter of the time, just as a matter of like the flexibility with the money and whatnot. I'm gonna have to get on Don's tip and start trying to like get me some Pokemon cards and sell these bad boys or something. Already, I was selling a little bit of my shoe collection, but I always wear my shoes too, so it's not like I have a whole bunch of dead stock stuff to make money off of. But I need to either come up with that or some other type of like side hustle to get a little extra paper because as far as what's going on this next week for me, the littlest girl, she started preschool as mentioned on Thursday. Then we signed her up for soccer. That starts in September actually. The oldest girl, she's going to community college, so it's not too bad expense wise, but still had to pay a couple grand for that. Um, and then we ended up what did we do? Oh yeah, preschool like that mug $400 like a month, so that's unfortunately. Got we just had to start making our payments for the AC that we got like about a month or so ago or something like that. Got that coming up and just little miscellaneous expenses are coming here and there. So really as far as what I got planned is just trying to stay in-house and like save as much money as possible, however possible, and just deal with again the kids and all their
Well, you were
adventures
just
and
living it up.
activities.
You were just living it up in New Orleans, though, right? So you guys just got back from a good little trip.
And that's the thing too. So normally like year after year after year, like I'm just taking random days off, like just to, get a day off work and just hang out and do nothing or what, right? This was the first year where I actually had like family like plans and vacations, going to Hawaii and then going to New Orleans and going to Memphis for a wedding and like so all these different things. Like it's been like a busier year as far as activities and events, which also comes with the cost. And because I did all those things in the first part of the year, this second part is where it's like, dang, like now just got to try to find some way to save money. And of course, that's horrible when you're coming up on Christmas and whatnot. So it's, well, like it is what it is. But, I made that decision. I don't regret it. We had our fun when we did, where we did. And, we just, You eat your dessert and then you have to eat your peas and vegetables and stuff like that afterwards. You know what I mean? It's just what it is.
I feel you. I feel you.
Don, you guys still do the family vacation in Vegas often?
Not Vegas, it's San Diego. We haven't been to Vegas since
Pandemic?
I mean, since I think Makai was like one, but no, we had switched it over to doing the yearly in San Diego, and we only did in this year because this is the year that we bought the house. So I told them I was like, I'm working on probably doing like Disney for Christmas, which I already know it's gonna cost an arm and a leg, but that was like my trade off. I was like, you guys for the summer, we moved this house in May, so I'm like, all my extra funds are going for this, getting furniture furnished, all that good stuff, getting adjusted to like the increase, like mortgage and all that good stuff. Which is why I do these side hustles. I always tell everybody, find a lane that you can, whether it be cards, whether it be, refing, literally whatever you can do. There's so many different
Fire sticks.
ways to find a hustle. Quincy got a new whip. Get in that whip and start, Uber eating something. I'm telling you, like there's so many different ways for the independent hustle. I highly recommend it because it is tough to just, unless like you have an amazing salary, to just like do it, with all the extracurriculars. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, especially with me losing the gig I had before going to this one. My paycheck dropped dramatically, so I'm definitely gonna have to figure something out.
Hmm.
Getting like,
so no, it's
Gigolo.
yeah, not going anywhere for the summer, but we'll go somewhere for Christmas.
That's what's up.
It works.
Dude, Disney's gonna cost more than San Diego anyway, so
Oh, it is. I know. Trust me. I was like, "Is you sure that's what y'all want to do? Like, we can get a fly Airbnb for San Diego. We want to go to Disney for." I'm like, all right. Don't say nothing when we in a rinky-dink motel, B. Just because it's gonna happen.
What is that? Oh, it's just bed bugs. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Exactly.
y'all share one bed too, a bed and a cot. Like,
Shoot.
yeah, trust me, I feel
Well,
you.
we can rent us a nice little van and sleep in that. I mean, what y'all want to do? I'm here for it.
Right?
that's funny.
Shoot, my
Man.
homegirl, she took the family out to to Disney doing all that stuff. They dropped a coin. I was like, shoot. I was like, I could have went to another dang country for the amount you did on the Disney.
It's
I was
for
like,
the
okay.
experience, bro. It's
It
it's
is.
it's literally for the experience. Because I
For the kids too, you gotta, if I wouldn't mind taking the kiddos, but like I wouldn't go as just me. But yeah, kiddos who love it, they'll appreciate it. They'll remember it always. They can say that, like, go back to school. Like, my dad took me to Disney. I went to I seen Mickey Mouse.
yeah.
It's like you said, it's experience. It's
That's
better
one of the
that
few
than
things. That's one of the few things that I know and I hate paying for. But it's like if you want to give them that like memory, I guess you have to. Like I hate
yeah,
you have to, but that's one of those trips that's like unfortunately you have to, and there's no like bargaining, there's no getting away from it. You're gonna drop a bag. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like
100%.
it's strictly to see the smile on their face. That's all it's for. It ain't for me. It's no investment. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Yep. I
That said,
let's start
that
the
said, and yeah, it is kind of a deep. I remember I was a kid and I went to Disney, but I don't remember much about Disneyland, let alone Disney World, because as cool as it was, like I grew out of that and transitioned to actually just rides. So Six Flags, I have so many more memories at a Six Flags. And so my goal, hopefully, is that, don't say nothing, won't be nothing. If I don't talk about Disney and even with kids watching Disney Channel and whatnot, hopefully they just continue to associate Disney with this channel and these cartoons and not thinking about Disney World or whatever. Um, and hopefully they're like me, where it's like, hey, we want to go on rides and all this stuff, but don't really care about these little kid rides. Don't really care about these characters and these costumes and stuff like that. We actually, because Friday was National Sons and Daughters Day or whatever, we ended up, because they always have to come up with stupid holidays and junk like that. So that's one of them or whatever. We ended up taking the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, right? The wife's like, oh, let's take them to Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm thinking, like, oh, yeah, that's no big deal. Buy a pizza, get some coins or whatever. This mug was like $95 for
Yep.
pizza, wings, and like 30 or 45 minutes of gameplay or something. It was so bizarre to me. And I'm like, that's how much it is? Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I knew that like Don was saying, you know, like Disneyland, that's a grip. But now any source of entertainment for kids is just crazy. So I'm gonna try my best to steer away from Disneyland. And if we do go, I'm going
You're gonna
once.
drop more than
We're
$100
going
on
back
parking.
and multiple times, you know, like
I'm gonna
that's
say this,
crazy.
brother. Good luck with that. And I only say that because I tried to do that too. And watching Disney, they gonna catch that commercial one day when that little girl is running into Mickey Mouse's arms, and your daughter's gonna be like, "I want to do that." That's how it starts. So be careful.
Say, hey, that's fake. That's a movie. That's not real, baby. It's okay. That's
Good
pretend.
Might have to lie. Yeah, exactly. Like, shoot, man. Like, and the thing is, too, like, it's like, all right, yeah, like, as much joy as Disneyland would bring, I don't want to say like kids are like dumb or whatever, but like kids, like, they get joy from anything and everything, you know, like new stuff. So she could have her heart set on Disneyland. But, you know, if all of a sudden I'm like, oh, dang, we're driving through California, driving through Anaheim or whatever, and it's like, oh, dang, we missed a turn for Disneyland. We got to find something else. Oh, look, there's Knott's Berry Farm. Best believe she's going to be happy and like wide-eyed and whatnot, going to Knott's Berry Farm and seeing Charlie Brown and Snoopy and whatnot. And I'll be happy as well because I ain't spending that much motherfucking money. So, you know.
It's like, hey, I'm going to take you somewhere better, babe. Like, you don't want to wait in line at this. I want to, you know what? There's this line. This is crazy. Look, we're going to here. Watch. It's going to be so much better. I got you.
Exactly. So
you know, Daddy can take care of you, right?
You know, that might work as well, hopefully.
Hey, it worked for me.
Good luck. My word of advice. Good luck.
Fingers crossed on that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Funny. Well, let's wrap it. Get ready.
Yep, every day.
Get to getting.
Yep. I gotta get fitted up, suited and booted for church, so that makes sense. Good timing on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Suited and booted. Who does that?
I mean, like, you know, one, it's not like I'm going into the office as much anymore. Like, I'm working from home a whole lot and whatnot, which is cool, just throwing whatever. But two, even when I'm going into the office, a lot of offices, a lot of jobs for people in general, usually like, you know, casual, business casual or whatever. So when do you have the opportunity to wear nice clothing? You know, it's not like we ain't got, you know, some slacks or some button-up t-shirts and stuff like that. So, you know, one of those opportunities for me would happen to be church. Although I gotta see what's clean and what's not like old and dusty, like I ain't worn in a minute. But you know, it's nice to look a little fresh, you know, for some purposes. And one of those purposes would be going to church.
That's funny.
I feel it.
I'll throw on my Jordans, so I'll wear my Jordans that day. There you go.
There you go. Always a pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure.